Setting up your spreadsheet in Numbers is very easy to do. If you tap anywhere on your spreadsheet, you'll notice that it will pull up. There'll be these little bars here across the top. If you want to move your spreadsheet, there's the little, in the top left-hand corner, there's a little, looks almost like a target. If you place your finger on that target, you can now drag that around and place it wherever you want it to go. If you would like to add columns or rows, there's a little button over in the right hand side and also down towards the bottom left. If you just touch that and drag, it will allow you to add more columns, or you could add more rows. Same thing, if you drag the other way, you can decrease the size of it. So that is changing your workspace. If you make a really long workspace, and I just drag that out a little bit here, let me just move over, I can now use my finger and I could just drag anywhere on the screen to be able to move to those different cells. So I'm going to just move that back to make it a little bit more manageable of a size. If I want to format this and make it look different, now I could go up to the Format tool in the top right hand side, and I could format my table, and I have some options in terms of the colors. Notice as I tap any of these other samples here, it will automatically change it. If I go to where it says Table Options, I can now add a name for the table. I could add table border, which is currently on. I could do alternating rows, so if you're working with a lot of numbers, this is helpful because it will gray out some of the areas every other row. You could change options with your grids. Let's go back here. I could change the text size to medium, extra large, tiny, or somewhere in between. And I could also deal with the font style, and there's a lot of choices here to choose from. So when you enter any information, any data into your table, it will choose that type of font. I can customize my headers. I can determine how many rows I want. If you're familiar with Excel about freezing rows, what freezing rows means is as you scroll down, notice how that top header row, that green row, stays there. That's considered what's called a frozen row. I could also do the same thing with freezing columns. By default, that's on. So if I go to scroll my spreadsheet, you'll see that that original header column is still there. And I could also go in and I could format individual cells, and this allows you to deal with the text inside of it, the alignment of it, and I can change the fill color, and I could change, a very important one is the wrap text within the cell. And then there's some additional formatting. Because you're working with a spreadsheet, you might be dealing with currency or percentage or dates or times. Depending on what type of data you're entering, you have some different options. I'm just going to pull currency here just to show you. You could choose how many places the decimal will show up to. You could use separators, you can use different accounting style. You could also change to different currency depending on if you are working on a project that would rely on other countries' information. And then down here there's some examples of how you want it to show up, whether you want it to show in red, show negative, or in parentheses. So a lot of different options when you're working within your spreadsheet and within your cells in terms of how you want to format it.